How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of Grimm brewing up in this piece in the form of their Impulse. Yeah, this is a IPA, Impulse Maximum Impulse. Sorry, I missed that top part there. So hopefully this one shows and proves. This comes courtesy of my boy Kyle from Brooklyn. He sent me off a bunch of Brooklyn jams, and this is a 6.5% IPA. And I believe that be that. This was canned about 3 weeks ago, so it's relatively fresh. I think that's hyper fresh, but some people would say not so much. But I'm not one of those people, so we'll see what's going on here. Yeah, you were getting the secondary camera angle because I just did a live thing, and I didn't feel like setting my camera up somewhere else, so you guys get to deal with that. Let's do that. Let's elevate that a little bit. Still working on this setup, but as far as that goes, darker room too. I usually don't have the room nearly as bright as I do for my typical reviews when I do this angle, just because the camera's a little bit closer. Don't need as much light, but I think the actual color of this beer rings a little bit more true in this light, because typically I have this glass over here on my little light here, and it kind of illuminates it. It's got a soft haze to it, a weird kind of yeast particulate, like it was actually like bottle conditioned or can conditioned. Not much of a head on her, just off-white, but it's got that soft kind of haze to it that lacks that vibrant pop, that vibrant yellow that you expect from a lot of new school kind of hazies. So, let's see if I can get a nose. Yeah. It's like a citrus leaning in the non-orange variety. So I'm getting a lot of like lemon lime rindiness. I'm getting pineapple. I'm getting grapefruit. On the other end of things, I'm getting this nice kind of pop of this kind of star tropical fruit, kind of kiwi, maybe a little bit of melon kind of vibes going in there. So it's definitely in the citrus realm, but not that typical orange that most people get, or most breweries produce when it comes to beers. But then you have that nice kind of soft, I shouldn't even say soft, because it's rather aggressive kind of tropical fruitiness in the other end. Yeah, she smells nice. She smells sweet, but restrained. Smells like it's going to be light, sprightly, drinkable. Let's dive in. Cheers. Oh, that's good. I like that. A little bit sweeter than I thought it would be. It smells appropriately sweet. It tastes appropriately sweet. But for some reason, I thought it was going to come off a little bit less sweet. It does have a small little kind of dip at the end. It leaves you a little bit of drying, a little bit of dryness. Finishes a little bit dry. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially with that kind of sweetness riding through the whole thing. It's not going to be confused with a super new school hazy kind of mouthfeel, but it has a nice soft mouthfeel. There's all kinds of zestiness going on here. So on top of that bittering you would get from the hops, and just kind of like a generic or kind of green, for the lack of a better descriptor, you do this kind of zesty thing along the edge of all those fruits that I kind of mentioned previously. From like that kind of grapefruit, pineapple kind of, pineapple zest, because it exists. Grapefruit, lemon lime kind of zestiness on top of that grapefruit, pineapple, kind of lemon, kind of citrus fruit in combination with that kind of tropical star kiwi-ish kind of fruit vibes in there. Actually, each sip I take, you get a little bit more acclimated to that sweetness. That dryness kicks in a little bit more. So it kind of ends up balancing out in a very, very fun way. I like this. It kind of reminds me, let's put it this way. It kind of reminds me of like an old school, new school, like your Headies of the world. Very much kind of, not that this tastes like Heady, but it's very reminiscent of Heady in its kind of overall kind of presentation and impact, in a way that, when you have Heady and then you have another beer that kind of, you could tell somebody really dug Heady, and they just wanted to kind of make their version of that. You're like, okay, this person's a big Heady fan. That's kind of where this comes off for me. It comes off as somebody who's like, okay, I really dig Heady Topper. Let me do my version of it. And this one definitely swings a little bit more kind of star tropical fruit for me, and a little bit more kind of non-orange citrus, but I mean, that backbone, that kind of influence, that homage is definitely there, at least for me. I think it's really tasty. It's tasty. It gives me kind of what I want when it comes to these kind of beers, especially in today's kind of flooded market of new school kind of hazies. I think she's fun. I think she's tasty. I'm a fan. Let's put it that way. Let's talk about it. Is this one of the better new school kind of hazy IPAs I've had as of late? It's definitely in the conversation. I don't think it's top of the mountain, Mount Rushmore level stuff, but I do really dig it. And it's a change of pace. It's something outside of the norm, so it has a uniqueness to it. So it kind of like just makes me happy in that aspect. Yeah, fun, tasty, well done. I'm a fan. Yeah, there you go. Value and availability. I know Grimm stuff can actually eke out there into the market, but I don't know personally. So Kyle, if you want to let me know what's what when it comes to price and availability on this, and leave you with, if you like what, will you like this beer? I mean, if you like these new school jams, but you like the old school new school jams. I keep saying old school new school because Hetty's not old school, but in the grand scheme of things, it's old school new school. You know what I'm talking about. If you like those kind of beers, you'll like this. I mean, Grimm, I think their beers have gotten much better for me since they opened their spot. I just think the consistency's gotten a little bit better, and they've kind of started to produce stuff that isn't very similar. Like a lot of their beers are kind of repeats of the same thing, and this is not something I've had from these guys. So if you like those new school beers, you've had Grimm before, but you're like, maybe not my cup of tea. It'd be definitely worth checking out again because I think it's done really well. If you like Hetty, you'll like this one. Who doesn't like Hetty? So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little Grimm right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.